Liverpool team versus Leeds confirmed as major Alexander Isak and Mohamed Salah decisions made. Mohamed Salah has been left on the Liverpool bench once again as Arne Slot's men take on Leeds United at Elland Road after sitting out the win over West Ham and coming on at half-time in the draw with Sunderland. "Every player is in my mind to start a game of football because we have so many good players," Slot had said in his pre-match press conference. "Mo has been such an exceptional player for us. He's always in my mind to start or to come in." Alisson Becker is in goal with Connor Bradley, Ibrahima Konate, Virgil van Dijk and Milos Kerkez forming the back four. Ryan Gravenberch, Curtis Jones and Dominic Szoboszlai are in midfield. The Hungarian is one booking away from a suspension. Cody Gakpo, who was taken off at halftime midweek, is joined up top by Hugo Ekitike and Florian Wirtz. Salah and Alexander Isak, the latter of whom has started each of the last 2 games, are among the options to call upon from the bench. "I looked at Leeds versus Chelsea and I thought I saw a Liverpool game, Chelsea conceding a set piece and for the 3rd goal making a big error where they conceded a goal from," Slot said on Friday as he previewed the fixture. "It was very difficult for them. Either Leeds went very aggressive to 1v1 or they went to a low block and it was really hard to create chances. It's not only difficult for us, that playing style, it's difficult for many teams, including us. So what we expect is what we've seen in the second half against Manchester City when they were 2-0 down, coming back to 2-2. Eventually, Phil Foden made the difference with a moment of magic for City, and against City they were really strong and played a very good game. They were really aggressive and had a lot of long balls as well from their goalkeeper. We know what to expect, but what to expect is probably what we've faced in all of the games with maybe the exception of 2. Isak is still working his way to full match sharpness after his $169 million, £125 million transfer went through on deadline day in the summer. And Slot was keen to stress that he wants to bring him into the action more often in future. "It's not ideal for me that he is getting so few touches, but do you know how many he had at Newcastle on average? 22, Slot explained. "In this league, strikers don't touch the ball that much, but the few times they do touch it, it's quite nice if they then finish it off. I have no clue what the stats of Erling Haaland are, but I wouldn't be surprised, I have no clue, if he maybe doesn't touch it 100 times a game, but he does score a lot. It's more important for them to touch the ball in the right time than to touch it so many times." Liverpool team versus Leeds predicted as Mohamed Salah returns and Alexander Isak dropped. Arne Slot has plenty of big decisions to make with his misfiring side as England look to finally find some form against Leeds United today. The Reds' revival lasted just a matter of days following last weekend's victory over West Ham, with Wednesday seeing yet another disjointed performance as they toiled to a disappointing draw at home to Sunderland. All of the same questions remain after that game, with Slot seemingly no closer to knowing his best team. All eyes are on Mohamed Salah at the moment, but the Egyptian is far from the only player whose place should be under scrutiny. Far too many big names are not hitting the heights they should be, making selection all the more difficult against the Leeds side high on confidence after beating Chelsea, and no doubt Daniel Farke's side will look to make things as uncomfortable as they can for Liverpool. So where do we start? Well, Alisson Becker in goal is a given, fitness permitting, and that's pretty much the only easy decision. Connor Bradley should be back from injury today, although it might be a bit soon to throw him straight back into the side, especially with options at right back scarce, so as long as Joe Gomez's body can handle it, he can continue. That of course means Ibrahima Konate and Virgil van Dijk maintain their partnership at the heart of the defense, while Milos Kerkez could be in line to return at left back after making way for Andy Robertson in midweek. Ryan Gravenberch will take his usual spot in midfield, and there is a real argument for Curtis Jones to start after his impact off the bench on Wednesday. With a trip to Inter Milan to take into account on Tuesday, he may well get the nod to replace Alexis Mac Allister today. Then comes the big question, will Salah return? He didn't exactly take his chance when called upon against Sunderland, but then neither did most of his teammates. Now might be the time for him to earn a recall though, so he's back in his usual spot on the right, with Florian Wirtz starting on the left while Dominic Soboslai takes the number 10 role. Federico Chiesa deserves a starting spot, but does anyone actually expect him to be given one? The last big call comes up top, and surely Hugo Ekitike will start after Alexander Isak's barely noticeable performance on Wednesday. The Swedish international might need more time to get up to speed with his teammates, but Liverpool simply can't afford him that at the moment. Alan Shearer in agreement with pundit over Alexander Isak's Liverpool struggles. Alexander Isak has endured a sluggish beginning to his Liverpool career following his switch from Newcastle. The Swedish striker has managed just 2 goals for the Reds from his opening 12 outings for the club, with his maiden Premier League effort arriving in last weekend's triumph over West Ham. However, despite breaking his duck against the Hammers, the forward's displays continue to face examination. Since his recent comeback from a groin problem, he has been restricted to an average of merely 14 touches across his previous 3 starts. Arne Slot defended the striker during his latest press conference before Liverpool's journey to Leeds on Saturday, though acknowledged his team must improve at involving the forward more frequently in the final third. Admittedly, some of Isak's struggles come as little surprise. He had been playing catch-up after his Anfield arrival on transfer deadline day, having effectively downed tools and trained in isolation at Newcastle while attempting to engineer his exit. Nevertheless, former Magpies scout Paul Montgomery reckons the striker would have always required time to settle at Liverpool regardless, highlighting how the forward must adapt to a contrasting playing approach with the Reds. "We saw what Isak can do at Newcastle," he said on the Beyond the Back 4 podcast. "One thing I'm negative about Isak is that his game has to change. His game was brilliant at Newcastle because they played on the counter at Newcastle, they played in behind the opposition defense, which suited Isak because he's quick. They used to play balls over the top and boom, Isak, Jacob, Murphy, Anthony Gordon, they were all dangerous because of that. Now he's playing for Liverpool, who have the ball more and have to open doors more. It's a different way to play that Isak has to learn. He needs more close control, to play more in the box. Most teams who play Liverpool have a brick wall you have to get through. Mentally, he has a different game he has to get to now because in the past the team played to his attributes. He isn't going to get that at Liverpool." Newcastle legend Alan Shearer echoed these sentiments after witnessing Isak net his first Premier League goal for Liverpool, expressing concerns about how the Reds are delivering the ball to the striker. "I do think there were little signs that they are going to have to get used to him and also play earlier ball into him because a lot of what Alex does is off the cuff," he told the Rest is Football podcast. "I know a lot of it was balls in behind, but also it is off the cuff and spontaneous. Not just for him, but any striker, you have got to get the ball into the box early when you have got the opportunity to do it. To get the best out of him, you have got to do that." Meanwhile, speaking on Match of the Day, he commented, "It's about getting the very best from him, which at times he's going to need help from his teammates. He has to do better, obviously. We've not seen as much as we thought. But we saw it's very much a work in progress. There were some really positive signs, but also signs where he can definitely improve with his teammates' understanding of what he needs to make his game better. This one he has every right to moan, shout, scream, at Joe Gomez. There's no need to take a touch there, it's a great ball to whip in. It doesn't come in first time, it has to then come in second time with the left foot, otherwise you're doing the forward no good whatsoever. It's a really good opportunity to get the ball into a forward who needs to be fed. Same thing again, I think that's a good run. If he doesn't get it the first time, he has to get it the second time, again that ball has to come in." You can see him having a moan, and he's absolutely right. This, his goal, is what happens. This is how deadly he can be if you get the balls in at the right time, at the right pace. He works the space really well, doesn't do a lot to create it, sometimes standing still is the best part, but that is a fantastic finish, that is what he's all about. But he needs his teammates to help him do it. There are so many times where the ball can come in earlier for him and go in behind.